This is a battle in the New Era tournament. We have Aggony The Prussian Prince commanding the Alans versus IG Angulum VI commanding the Ostrogoths. So once again we have something Germanic and something Germanic. So essentially we have Germanic horse, Germanic archers, those will be the Germanic components of the army. And we might see Germanic spearmen, we might see Germanic pikes, and then the something is in this case Sarmatian band and Gothic warbands. So I've been having some issues with uploads lately and video quality and such. It looks like I have been able to fix at least some of it. It has taken me 3 days to figure out all the kinks, which has been, I want to say, interesting rather than annoying, because it has been interesting. I am basically not a complete noob, but almost a complete noob at video editing and everything that has to do with the technical aspect of things. For most of my YouTube channel's short lifespan, I have just been pressing record and uploading raw files, which I've been very happy with. But now that I try to make some editing videos, it's very frustrating that basically a day or two of editing can just get lost because of the wrong render settings or stuff like that. So that has happened to a few of my videos, but I have been learning a lot from it, and the shorter videos I have been making has been to sort of practice and become better, so that I can make more comprehensive videos when my skills are improving. Because some of these battles are so awesome that I really want to represent them in the best way I can, and that did not happen with Hastings, that did not happen with Stamford Bridge, that did not happen with Stiklestad, and it probably won't happen for quite some time until I learn video editing better and also learn how I can use the horrid replay system better to get better shots and stuff like that. But I think I am underway. Now, a short note of caution. You probably noticed the red triangle next to the file here. This replay might be slightly corrupted, so what I'm going to do is I double checked with the Prussian Prince if the result in this battle was the same as the result in his on his side, and it was reasonably close. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to record this, and then I'm going to ask the Prussian Prince if he can check if everything is the way it's supposed to. So the Prussian Prince spreading out in a center formation and in 2 flanks. Each of the formations has archers, cavalry and infantry. So it's in essence creating 3 small armies. This can be effective against the pike line of the something Germanic army of the Ostrogoths, because this will allow him to hold the center and then move and isolate each flank. Now the problem is, though, if the Ostrogothic army focuses on one of the flanks and manages to destroy it quickly enough, then this flank will be too far away to be able to support. But we'll see if we'll see what happens, because at the moment it looks like both of them are just vying for position, and Angulum moving towards one flank of the Prussian Prince, which is a good idea. Then the Prussian Prince has to continually keep moving here, and by rotating like this, he's going to be rotating closer to this flank, and he's going to be rotating further away from this flank. So that is one way of dealing with outflanking like this, when you have a long, thin line and your opponent starts to split up. If you keep rotating, but the issue is, of course, that at some point, if you just keep rotating, nothing's going to happen. I mean, both players are going to neither player wants to engage, and both players are going to keep moving away from each other. Like when the push comes here against the Prussian Prince's flank, then he's going to be moving away from the push, essentially, which could give him the time to move around here again. But as it is now, he's not in a great position to be offensive, so he's going to pull back to give himself some space, start skirmishing a bit. Always nice to get a volley or 2 off on some Germanic horsemen. That can be very, very important for when the melee engagement starts. Both of them, of course, using triple gold Germanics it's sort of become a thing. The main problem with Germanic horsemen is their low morale, and you help them a lot by giving them triple gold, and also they will fatigue less quickly. So upgrades are definitely not just about pure combatability by increasing melee attack and defense. It's morale and fatigue resistance are also very good reasons to upgrade. So it looks like we're going to see the same thing happening again, just moving towards the flanks. Is Angulum just rotating his lines, and now it looks like the Prussian Prince is going to gather his forces a bit closer. Now, a pike line like this isn't really a problem. Any kind of low charge infantry can charge in and wreck the pikes. The problem is that the supporting Gothic warband and Thracians, if they countercharge here, anything is going to be dying on the front line here. So loose formation being used here by Angulum, not the best formation to be using in skirmishing, ironically. And it was quite funny, one of the battles again with Achilles using the Huns. Someone commented that, wow, Maximus's casting is getting better, or his casting skills are getting better. He sounds so excited. And that is something you will hear happening when the game I'm watching is exciting and good. I am not the type of person to pretend I'm excited about something that I am not excited about. Like, most games that I watch and cast, and they are sort of mediocre. And I don't mean that in a negative way, they are fairly standard games with standard armies going up against each other, and I think they are interesting to watch. I like watching Total War games. So they are interesting enough to watch, but they don't get me particularly excited. For me, being excited and being interested are two different things. However, when watching games where something unusual happens, or where something really cool happens, or where someone makes a series of really good moves, I might become excited, and I might sound more excited. So it's not something I'm going to do with the intention of making things more interesting to watch. I'm sure it would be a very good idea. Most of the really popular YouTube channels use, I'm going to say, fake excitement, because no living person is going to be able to be as excited as they are over completely mundane gameplay. But they figured out it works, so they're going to be selling excitement basically and getting millions of views for it, and I understand it. People like watching excited people. Some people get excited by watching excited people. I mostly get annoyed when the excitement seems fake, so a bit of a rant there. Again, I don't mind people doing things to get more views on YouTube. It certainly works. I'm not going to judge someone for doing that. We're all in different situations in life, and people might be doing that for a host of different reasons. So, the Prussian Prince moving up on the flanks here. There is no cavalry to threaten his cavalry. No cavalry to threaten his infantry as well. So he can, if he wants to, he can push a bit and keep skirmishing a bit. But neither player is super anxious to engage here. A bit of a stalemate developing. And what I think you might... when armies start becoming very similar, the difference here is that the Prussian Prince doesn't have pikes in the center, but when armies start becoming this similar, one of two things happens. Either it's a straight up rush clash, whoever gets the best engagements win, or it's going to be turning into a sort of stalemate situation where neither player really wants to commit. It's much easier to respond to a player that has started committing than it is to be the player who starts committing. Potentially. It's not necessarily easier to be the player who doesn't dictate the pace of the battle, but it can be easier to respond to a very aggressive player than it can be to be very aggressive yourself. So here we have Germanic horsemen in wedge. They should move out of wedge. If not, they're not going to be able to get away here. If these Germanic horsemen hit charge speed, they're going to be able to hit the wedge very quickly. But there are, of course, units in support here that's going to make that difficult. Sarmatian warband taking a lot of fire here when they are moving about. Sarmatian warbands are not that important compared to the cavalry. The really important thing here, of course, is the cavalry. And the Prussian Prince being very patient here. He's taking fire, he's losing a lot of Sarmatians, but in my opinion, his Sarmatians are his least important units at this point. So it's good that he is not losing now he's firing at the Germanic archers. Very much a stalemate, this. And here we have some 2-on-1 situations developing. Two of the Prussian Prince's Germanics are going to be able to fire at one of the Germanic archers. And these Germanic archers are firing at the Sarmatian warbands, which means that they're going to... they're going to be losing. And I think these Germanic archers over here, they are not using flaming at the moment, which is a good idea against these Germanic archers. Now, against Germanic archers in particular, it doesn't really matter because they have next to no armor. So these Germanic levies are out of ammunition. So let's see what happens to them when they get charged by cavalry. Yeah, not great. I mean, when you're 2 ranks deep, you're not going to be able to brace very well at all. So 1 charge and that unit is gone. Germanic horsemen losing on the disengage now, but that 1 charge was enough to just break the shit out of that unit. They also took some friendly fire, and I think the friendly fire broke them in the end. Flaming shots incoming here against the Germanic horsemen. And here we have the Sarmatian warband just rushing into the Germanic levy here. They should do very well on the charge against Germanic levy. The Germanic levy is trying to pull back. Now it gets attacked in the rear. It gets a few volleys in the back as well, so these 2 Germanic levies are gone. In my opinion, Germanic levies way too expensive to bother bringing Germanic levies. Completely useless unit. Now, Germanic horse eating some arrow fire here. The flanks of the Ostrogoths have taken a lot of casualties. Germanic horsemen here charging into the Germanic horsemen here. These Germanic horsemen are fighting. They are basically fighting. They're fighting against quite a few enemies, and both of these units. This unit is still charging because it was charging over here, but it's going to be losing quite a few cavalry units because this unit is winning decisively. It was moving away, and so it's going to have a lot of weird things happening to it. The Germanic archers almost off the field here, and these units wavering. But over here, that cavalry unit just broke. Thracian warriors got the charge. Absolutely destroyed by Germanic horsemen. In the center here, these Thracians are going to die very quickly together with the Gothic warband. They are glass cannons extraordinaire. The Germanic horsemen that got the weird charge are being destroyed by the wedged Germanic horsemen. There we have Germanic horsemen giving a swift charge and then running out. Smart move, since there's Germanic levy in support. Eating a lot of fire here are the Germanic horsemen. At this point, it's basically over. The pikes are alone, the skirmishers are off the field. Most of the cavalry units, there are some cavalry units left, but they're getting hit now by the Alani general. Very nice point in the battle that the Prussian Prince sent in his Alani general. He's going to do a lot of damage to these engaged Germanic horsemen. There is a Germanic horse left here, but over here the so much fire incoming against the Gothic general and the Royal Sionis, I mean, and the Royal Sionis are off the field. The general is dead, so we might just see a chain rout here from the Gothic army. So it looks like something Germanic was stronger than something Germanic. Yeah, this unit is just standing around, and this might, it's either miss micro, well at this point it doesn't really matter, but it's either miss micro, it doesn't matter at this point, or an issue with a replay. I'm going to ask the Prussian Prince to take a look and see if everything looks the way it should. Good game to both players. Let's have a look here. Yeah, these 3 Germanic levies, I'm going to just be taking a look at something here for the Ostrogoths. So, only 4 Germanic horsemen and 1 Royal Sione. Let's have a look at something for the Ostrogoths here. I don't know what the plan was with that army in particular, but for the Ostrogoths, I think there was a 6 cav limit here. So both of these, the Royal Siones and the Gothic general, both of them are very strong units. The Royal Siones have a higher charge bonus, better armor and tanking stats. So the Royal Siones are a good choice to bring. Now look at the price of Germanic levies. 425 for a unit that dies on a single charge and that loses to almost every single melee infantry unit in the game. Now if you, instead of those guys, if you bring 6 Gothic warbands, you bring 4 Germanic archers, you bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Germanic horsemen. If you absolutely want to have pikes in the center, you can. I'm not too fond of it at the moment, to be honest, but sure, let's have some pikes in the center. Let's have some Gothic pikes because they have a bit of armor. Let's see, let's have 2 Gothic pikes in the center, and now you have a significant amount of funds left. You can either spend these funds on upgrading the shit out of your cavalry. So let's say you want triple gold cavalry, which is almost never a bad idea. These Royal Siones are not as necessary to upgrade to triple gold. They already have decent stats, and they don't have the bonus against cavalry, which makes upgrading them slightly less useful. They also have great morale to begin with, so these units can go a bit lighter on the upgrades. Now what you can do with the remaining funds is of course more Germanic archers. So a build like this, I think that would be a lot of fun for the player who uses it. 6 Germanic archers raining down death from afar will allow you to win a lot of skirmish engagements. The Gothic warbands will die to cavalry, but they do have a great charge. They do have precursors, 6 precursor units and pikes in front. The pikes in front are going to be shielding the archers. The archers can support the flanks. You have very strong melee cavalry, and I think something like this, a bit more focused in terms of having the same types of melee units, the same types of archers, having the maximum allowed amount of upgraded cavalry, and then going a bit lighter on the pikes. So this is a very strong Ostrogothic build in my opinion. Strength and honor.